All right, welcome back, everybody. Whether you rent or own your home, there is one creepy little problem that we all deal with here in the Low Country. We're talking about bugs. No see 'ems, pesky little problem, right? Probably some bigger things, too. Lindsay Blackburn from Island Realty here to give us some tips on working out all of those bug problems. Great to have you back. How are you?
Thanks. Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. This is a big problem, whether you rent or you own. So tell me about kind of the situation with bugs and kind of who's responsible for taking care of that, a renter or an owner?
I wish it was that simple. It depends on what the problem is. To put it simply, the owner is responsible for a termite bond. That's the most prominent thing that an owner is always responsible for, and that's because you want to go with one company for a long duration. You'll get better rates, and you don't want it to lapse, because in our hot and humid environment, there's a very high probability that you're going to have a problem with termites at some point.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to keep that covered. For all other bugs, like your regular type of house bugs, a tenant has 72 hours to report an infestation after they move in.
Okay.
After that, pest control is the responsibility of the tenant.
Oh, wow.
So there are a few minor exceptions to that, but for the most part, they're going to be responsible.
Well, tell me if an owner, Lindsay, is very particular about the pest control. Have you ever had an owner include it in their rent?
Oh, yes. A lot of times they'll get a lower rate with their termite bond, or they've just had a contract for a long time, and they definitely keep it. Probably about 10% of our owners go ahead and provide that.
Okay, what about a condo situation? Do sometimes owners in condos do that?
Most condos and townhome communities go ahead and include it as part of the HOA.
Yeah.
Mainly because they're connected, and it is better to go ahead and spray everything than have one person do it, but their neighbor doesn't, and the bugs can
kind of shift
make
over
their
to
way
that
over.
house. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Lindsay, tell me about mosquitoes, always in the news this summer, but what can we really do about them?
It depends on how you use your outdoor space. If you're in a community or even at your home and you have a picnic area, a playground, an outside pool that has a lot of mosquitoes, you might want to invest in a mosquito system where they come and they put a spray into your system, and it's set on a timer, and it'll go off, you know, at 4 o'clock in the morning or something, and it really keeps the area low, the mosquitoes down in the area. You can also buy a one-time treatment, like if you're having a party at your house, you can spray your yard with a treatment, and it'll keep them down for a few days before it rains. I mean, if it rains, then it kind of washes it away.
Make sure you get rid of that stagnant water as well.
Yes,
so what else do you guys handle over at Island Realty?
Well, there's always the creatures when a critter might get into the house. Usually that is the owner's responsibility unless the tenant has been negligent somehow. If they're really dirty and don't, you know, get rid of their garbage, or if they just leave windows and doors open long term, then they can definitely get in. But we don't recommend just calling your regular pest control person that sprays your house for that. You really want to get a creature catcher person, and we actually like creature catchers. Brad Hill-Frank is the owner, and he does an excellent job of getting rid of creatures, and he does it humanely. He doesn't just poison them, because then you have the worry of them dying in your house. So he will find how they're getting in, remediate that, and then set humane traps.
You can check those guys out online or in the phone book or something like that, but make sure you have the great tool for the job, because if it's a big critter, then you need to take care of it. What about those big bugs? Of course, you got mice concerns, as you mentioned. What about palmetto bugs? That seems to be the big one as well. Palmetto bugs.
Palmetto bugs are very prominent in our area. They are not an indication that you're dirty. Like a roach is. They're actually vegetarian, eating. They live in bushes and trees, and they usually will scurry into your house, like when you open the door, especially in the evening at night. They'll come out. So if you spray outside of your home, a lot of pest control companies will just recommend an exterior spray to kill those bugs in your bushes, and then for the most part, your inside should be okay.
Wonderful. Love that. What can someone who's interested in finding out more about the managing details of a rental property and do more to get more Island Realty info from you guys?
They should call us at 843-886-4041 or visit us at islandrealty.com.
And I understand you have a Facebook kind of contest going on your website right now, right?
Please go to Low Country Living by Island Realty, our Facebook page. Like us by noon on Wednesday, and you will be entered for a free initial spraying by Rob's Pest Control.
Oh, very
It's worth about $150. He does a great job.
Wonderful. So what's that website one more time?
islandrealty.com. The Facebook page is Low Country Living by Island Realty.
There you go. All the information on your screen right there. Lindsay, thank you so much for taking the time and explaining that to us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm sure everybody's breathing a sigh of relief this morning after that. All right, thanks so much. More Low Country Live coming up in just a moment. Make sure you stick around, everybody.